Hey Talk Kickers listeners, ready for another deep dive? Today we're going behind the scenes.
Of T-Mobile's Q3 2024 earnings call,
We've got the transcript
analyst reports.
and even some stock info to unpack for you
We'll cut through all the noise and
and
jargon.
give you the insights that really matter.
Yeah.
Why should you care about this?
Well, T-Mobile is doing some really interesting things right now.
From record customer growth to ambitious 5G plans.
And even some potential shakeups in the spectrum game.
Buckle up because we've got a lot to cover.
Let's start with the big wins for T-Mobile this quarter.
Thirst up?
Their strongest Q3 for postpaid phone net adds.
In a decade.
Remember?
Postpaid customers,
Those are the ones with contracts.
generally seen as more valuable to a company.
Shows they're not just attracting any customer.
Right.
They're attracting the ones that stick around.
And speaking of sticking around,
Churn rate hit a record low for Q3,
so fewer people are leaving T-Mobile.
which suggests they're doing something right to keep their customers happy.
And they're not only keeping their current customers happy,
But they're winning over a ton of new ones, too,
especially from other providers,
dominating in the switchers category.
which tells you they've got a compelling offer,
That's convincing people to make the move.
for sure.
It's a strong sign of growth and momentum.
And it's not just about mobile phones either.
T-Mobile is making some serious waves in the broadband world, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they hit a huge milestone,
Tell me.
reaching 6 million customers in just 3 years. That puts them halfway to their goal.
Well,
12 million broadband customers.
by when?
2028.
So they've managed to build a significant broadband customer base.
In a very short amount of time.
It shows they're not just a mobile player anymore.
They're a force to be reckoned with in the home internet market as well.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the success can be attributed to their 5G network.
It seems like they're always racking up awards for their 5G.
They were even named the best in the world for 5G availability by OpenSignal.
Yeah, I saw that. But what does that actually mean for the average user?
You're going to have a better mobile experience overall.
Right.
Faster speeds,
Right.
smoother connections,
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to just do more with your phone.
Right.
And with newer phones coming out, specifically designed to take advantage of T-Mobile's unique 5G tech.
Things are only going to get better.
Exactly.
We're talking about things like voice over new radio.
And advanced carrier aggregation.
I know those sound like technical jargon,
Yeah.
but it basically boils down to a more powerful and efficient network.
That translates directly to a better experience for you,
So they're winning over customers
building out their network.
and raking in awards.
But what about the bottom line?
How are their financials looking?
Let's just say T-Mobile is making investors very happy.
Okay, I like this already.
They posted industry-leading service revenue growth this quarter,
Really?
with their postpaid service revenue growing twice as fast as their competitors.
That's what I call outperforming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about attracting more customers.
Right.
They're also doing a great job of deepening their relationships with existing customers.
Okay, interesting.
Their ARPA,
Which stands for?
average revenue per account,
Got it.
saw its highest growth in 7 years.
So what's driving that?
That's a great question.
Are people adding more lines to their accounts?
Maybe?
Upgrading to more expensive plans?
It's something we'll dig into a little bit later. But for now,
Yes.
let's just say it's a good sign that they're finding ways to provide more value to their customers
Wow.
and in turn generate more revenue.
Makes sense.
And they're doing all of this while keeping their finances in check.
Smart.
Their core adjusted EBITDA
A measure of profitability.
grew by 9%,
Wow.
leading the industry by a significant margin.
And because they're managing their money efficiently,
They have a lot of free cash flow.
which gives them flexibility to do what?
Invest in future growth,
Okay.
make strategic acquisitions, or even buy back their own stock.
So things are looking pretty rosy for T-Mobile right now.
They're firing on all cylinders.
But as with any company,
There are always some nuances and details that we need to unpack.
to really understand the full picture,
Exactly.
the numbers tell a compelling story.
But there's always more to uncover.
And that's where we come in.
So let's move beyond the headline numbers. Delve into some of the more intriguing aspects of T-Mobile's performance this quarter,
Things that might not be immediately obvious.
but could have a big impact down the road.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Remember how we talked about T-Mobile trading some of their 3.45 gigahertz spectrum for 2.5 gigahertz spectrum?
Yeah, it seemed like kind of a technical detail at the time.
Right.
I'm curious to hear what you make of it.
Well, you have to remember that spectrum is like prime real estate for wireless companies.
Okay.
It's what allows them to deliver those lightning fast speeds. and handle all the data we're using.
Okay, so it's valuable, but why trade one type for another?
Think of it like swapping a plot of land in a crowded city for a larger piece in the suburbs.
Okay.
The city plot might be in a high traffic area,
Right.
but the suburbs give you more room to grow.
So in this case, 2.5 gigahertz spectrum gives T-Mobile more room to expand their 5G network.
Exactly. And it aligns perfectly with their long-term strategy.
Okay.
During the earnings call, T-Mobile's president of technology, Ulf Ewaldson, explained that 3.45 gigahertz just didn't fit into their long-term network vision.
So they decided to make a strategic move and swap it for something that better suits their needs.
Precisely. It's like they're playing chess, thinking several moves ahead to ensure they have the right pieces in place.
For future dominance.
Exactly.
Interesting. So how does this spectrum swap directly impact me, the average T-Mobile customer?
Think of it this way. If T-Mobile is building a bigger and better 5G network,
Okay.
it means you'll likely have better coverage, faster speeds, and a more reliable connection overall.
Got it. Okay. What else caught your eye in these reports?
Well, there's the interesting case of the 800 megahertz spectrum auction.
Yeah.
Remember, T-Mobile was supposed to sell this spectrum as part of the Sprint merger agreement?
Right. I remember that. But they didn't receive any qualifying bids.
Right.
So now what happened?
Now they have options.
Like what?
And they haven't revealed their hand just yet.
A little mystery.
It's a bit of a mystery. And Wall Street is definitely watching closely.
So could they sell it later for a profit?
They could.
Or use it themselves to further boost their network?
Exactly. There are a lot of possibilities, and it's all going to depend on their strategic goals.
And the evolving market landscape.
Right.
Okay. Intriguing. So spectrum moves aside. What else should TalkTicker listeners be paying attention to?
Well, remember T-Mobile's challenger to champion vision.
Yeah.
They're clearly not content with just being a major player.
Right.
They want to be the top dog in the telecom world.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
But they've got some stiff competition, right?
Absolutely. The telecom landscape is constantly shifting, but T-Mobile is laser focused on staying ahead of the curve. And a big part of that is their commitment to building the best 5G network.
And they're not shy about touting their 5G superiority.
No, they're not.
During the earnings call, Ulf Ewaldson emphasized that T-Mobile is the only carrier with a pure standalone 5G core network.
Right.
I'm guessing that gives them a technological advantage.
Yeah, but think of it like this. Their competitors are still relying on older technology to support their 5G.
Okay.
Kind of like adding a modern facade to an old building.
Okay.
T-Mobile, on the other hand, has built a brand new structure from the ground up.
Specifically designed for 5G.
Exactly.
So it's a more efficient and powerful foundation for their network.
Exactly. And that translates into better performance and more innovative features for you down the line.
So while T-Mobile is in a strong position right now,
It seems like it.
they're not just sitting back and relaxing, are they?
Not at all. They're constantly pushing the boundaries, exploring new partnerships, and looking for ways to expand their reach.
Okay.
For example, they're teaming up with SpaceX's Starlink
To do what?
to offer direct-to-device satellite connectivity.
Wait, so even if you're in the middle of nowhere, you could still get a T-Mobile signal.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
It is. It shows they're thinking outside the box and finding innovative ways to ensure coverage.
Even in the most remote areas.
Right. They're also collaborating with Google to integrate Google One Cloud Storage.
Into their mobile plans.
Exactly.
So instead of just offering basic connectivity, they're bundling in valuable services.
To enhance people's digital lives.
Exactly. They're not just a telecom company anymore. They're becoming a one-stop shop for all your digital needs.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got a company that's performing well financially, investing in their network, and exploring innovative partnerships.
All good signs.
But what does this all mean for the average consumer?
Well, it's good news for you.
It sounds like T-Mobile's success is good news for consumers,
Yeah.
but how about the bigger picture?
What do you mean?
What does it all mean for the telecom industry as a whole?
Well, when a company like T-Mobile shakes things up, it forces everyone else to step up their game.
Do you think we're seeing that already?
Yeah, we're already seeing other carriers investing more in 5G
Okay.
and trying to match T-Mobile's aggressive pricing,
So competition is heating up,
which is good for consumers.
but will it last?
What do you mean?
Or is this just a temporary thing?
I think it's safe to say that T-Mobile has permanently changed the playing field.
Really?
They've set a new standard for what customers expect.
And the other carriers have no choice but to adapt.
Exactly.
So what does that mean for those of us who aren't necessarily tech experts?
How will we actually experience these changes?
Yeah.
Think about it this way. Have you noticed that your current phone plan offers more data or perks than it did a few years ago?
Maybe?
Or maybe your internet provider has suddenly started offering faster speeds.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I think I have.
That's the T-Mobile effect in action. They're
It's
pushing the entire industry forward.
And that ultimately benefits everyone. Okay, so T-Mobile is shaking up the industry and pushing for better services.
But what about the long-term implications?
What do you mean?
Are they really building a company that's built for the future?
Well, let's see.
One thing that really stands out is their focus on digitalization.
Okay.
They're not just talking about it, they're actually putting it into practice.
Give me an example.
Remember how they mentioned that the majority of iPhone pre-orders this year happened online?
Yeah, I remember that. A sign of the times, for sure.
Exactly, and they're aiming to push that even further.
How so?
They've set a goal of reducing person-to-person customer service interactions by 75%
Wow.
and having most activations happen digitally.
Wow, that's ambitious.
It is.
But I guess it makes sense.
In today's world, people want things to be quick, easy, and convenient.
Exactly.
And T-Mobile is betting that by streamlining their operations and making everything more digital, they can improve efficiency
Reduce costs.
and ultimately provide a better experience for their customers.
So they're not just trying to win today, they're planning for tomorrow.
Exactly, and they're not just thinking about their own business.
Right.
They're also investing in technologies that will shape the future of connectivity as a whole.
Like their partnership with SpaceX's Starlink to offer satellite connectivity.
Exactly, and they're also exploring the use of AI-powered networks
To do what?
to optimize performance and create even more innovative features.
They're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And that's exciting for everyone.
So as Talk Tickers listeners, what should we take away from all of this?
Well, I think T-Mobile's story is a reminder that disruption can be a good thing.
In what way?
It forces companies to innovate, adapt, and ultimately deliver better value to their customers.
Whether you're a T-Mobile customer or not, you're likely to benefit from the changes they're driving in the industry.
Exactly.
And it's a story that's still unfolding.
With their challenger to champion vision, they're clearly not done yet.
So stay tuned. This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into T-Mobile's Q3 2024 earnings.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you found it informative and insightful.
As always.
We encourage you to do your own research and form your own conclusions.
And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes,
Be sure to let us know.
we love hearing from you.
Until next time, happy investing.
And keep those tickers talking.